I made a series of videos about food and how it is affecting all of us. Just in case you don't know what the metabolic syndrome is, it's simply a term that covers all of the diseases that our diet has created. You don't really need to have all of these diseases. Of course you don't. Just one of them would mean that you have metabolic syndrome. The most common one is obesity. I had a few of these. I made a list of them because as you heal yourself, you tend to forget. And in fact, some of them you don't even realize are part of the metabolic syndrome until you read the ginormous list of symptoms. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 175 over 88 or somewhere in that range. I was given beta blockers for that. And I took them for 6 months and took myself off of them. And I started on this diet and my blood pressure is like 114 over 70. That's pretty darn good. The other symptom I have is a leaky gut. I'm still working on that one. The way that showed up and made it obvious that I had a leaky gut was GERD. I'm working on that one. The symptoms that I had with GERD was a spastic esophagus, a burning esophagus, and heartburn. It was pretty painful. I will list the things that I took to help with this leaky gut. Mostly it's taking probiotics, one for regular meals and one for when you eat protein. And the protein one is HCl with pepsin, and the regular one is a acidophilus, I believe. It's a regular probiotic. Even if you think you're healthy, you should be taking a probiotic. The other vitamins and minerals that I took, I will definitely show you them. I had skin issues. Some of the skin issues were a new spot for my chicken skin. I've always had sort of chicken skin on the arms and upper legs. The upper legs was the first to go, and then the forearms. I'm still having a little bit here, so my gut is not cured yet. I had joint pain, head to toe joint pain. It was extremely painful. Well, what pain isn't painful? I was really limited in what I could do. I couldn't walk for any length of time. I could not get down on the floor and do my stretching exercises, which I can now. I couldn't get on my knees. They hurt so much I couldn't put any weight on my knees. Weight gain. Yeah. Weight gain and food addiction. Yeah. I had that. Working on it. Food sensitivity. I was never had any obvious sensitivities to foods. I do now. I am sensitive to milk, I'm sensitive to wheat. And I want to cure that because I want to be able to enjoy a piece of bread occasionally. I just can't do that until I'm completely cured of it. And dry eye. I didn't realize that dry eye was a symptom until I found it on the big, huge, long list of symptoms. I couldn't read. The vision was so blurry. Well, that's completely gone too. No more dry eye. It feels fantastic. It feels what a pleasure to be able to read and see. Ringing of the ears. Yeah, I had that for years, and I never associated that with diet at all. One day I was laying in bed, and usually that's when my ringing in the ears is so obvious because the sound is quiet and the ringing of the ears is really amplified, and it was gone. I couldn't believe it. I don't know why it struck me in my head that it was gone, but it was. The other one is the stuffy nose. I always had like constant congestion, and that's gone. So I'm on the mend, and what's really funny about this, it's not funny, haha, it's funny, peculiar, is that the more of these symptoms that are cured, another sensitivity comes up. And I have a funny feeling that this might be detoxing, that I am detoxing my body from this leaky gut and this metabolic syndrome. And so other ones that were buried and not being obvious are appearing, and they're finally the final ones to get out of my system. That would be food sensitivities, other than the wheat and the milk that I already knew I had. I'm coming up with a very serious sensitivity to MSG. I'm really trying my absolute best to get that completely out of my diet. Even if I didn't have a sensitivity to it, yeah, I shouldn't eat it because of all the really bad crap that it has. And I'm going to make a video about MSG so I can teach myself and for you in case you really don't realize how serious it is. Another symptom of metabolic syndrome And I have it waist size, waist circumference. My waist currently is 31. The goal is to get it down to 26 or even 27, and I'll be happy there. See how long that takes me? And that's where I'm headed. These are my symptoms of a metabolic syndrome and what I'm doing to correct them. I made a series of videos about food and how it is affecting all of us.